set. In 3, 2, who's going to win the World Series?
All right, for me, it's a simple answer. It's the Atlanta Braves, the hottest team in the Major League Baseball right now. They might not have the starting rotation of some other teams like the LA Dodgers, like the Boston Red Sox, but I really do like what the Braves have brought to the table so far in the regular season. Obviously, once you get to the playoffs, anything can happen, and it seems like at the end of each season, the hottest team wins, but I'm going to go with the Atlanta Braves.
I'm going to go with the St. Louis Cardinals on this one. Veteran staff, they've been there, they've done that. I think they're really going to make it.
I think the Braves have a really good chance, but the Dodgers are right there with them. It's just, you never know what's going to happen in the playoffs.
Next topic, who's going to win the Super Bowl?
Super Bowl. Got to go with the Denver Broncos. They picked up Wes Welker this offseason despite losing Elvis Dumervil and Von Miller possibly to that 4-game suspension. I think their defense will hold up, and I think the Broncos are going to win the Super Bowl.
I'm going to agree with Chris. I'm going to go with the Denver Broncos. I think they're the best team by far.
Agree. Nothing you can say. They picked up a great receiving core to build around Peyton. It's going to be a good one.
Next topic, Jets camp, Smith or Sanchez?
Got to go with Geno Smith on this. I mean, Mark Sanchez has been an absolute joke for the New York Jets since leading them to back-to-back conference championships. I think the Mark Sanchez run in New York is just about over.
Coming from a New Yorker myself, I have to go to Geno Smith. I'm tired of seeing Sanchez struggle year after year.
I don't think Sanchez really can do much for the Jets. Geno Smith coming in, he's a very versatile quarterback. I feel that he's going to get it.
All right, next topic, SC or UCLA?
Got to go with SC on this one. I mean, not just because, we got Big Pete in the room. Okay, maybe that's some of the reason why, but I like what SC brings back this year. I mean, obviously the season was a total disappointment last year, but I like the athletes that they brought in the recruiting class, and I think they'll beat UCLA this season.
I'm actually going to go with UCLA this year. I really think they're going to play well. I think they're going to be able to edge at USC. I don't know, it's just something about them.
I think UCLA will, one, being a fan, and two, coming back from last year, their defense really showed up. And I feel that if they show up again, that's going to be the key.
Next topic, baseball. Who's going to win the NL Cy Young?
NL Cy Young, obvious answer, Clayton Kershaw. He struggled a little bit against the Cardinals the other night, but, I mean, his ERA is still under 2, I believe. I mean, he's the best pitcher in baseball right now. One of the best lefties we've ever seen.
I'll see it. You can't go with Matt Harvey. He's been killing it all year. Strikeout after strikeout. He just keeps on dominating every single batter he faces.
I'm going to have to go with Kershaw. He has a very, very low ERA, and he's been throwing strikes for the Dodgers.
Next topic, AL Cy Young.
AL Cy Young, I was going to say Clay Buchholz, but I don't know. I really think it's a toss-up right now. I mean, there's a lot of guys doing a great job. Maybe Chris Sale of the Chicago White Sox. It's really a toss-up for me. I don't know.
I think I got to go with Max Scherzer on this one. I mean, the record just speaks for itself.
Max Scherzer also, he's been throwing amazing lately.
All right, next topic, steroids in baseball.
Steroids in baseball. I like what they're doing with this whole biogenesis thing, suspending everybody on the list. But I think Alex Rodriguez needs to drop his appeal. The Yankees are all but out of it. And just accept the appeal and end the drama.
I think that it's going in the right path right now. I think they're definitely doing what they have to do. And I also believe that A-Rod should obviously just drop the appeal. There's no reason why he should be appealing. He's obviously not going to get it. I don't know about this one, though.
I feel that A-Rod doesn't have any right to appeal. After, even history shows that you probably shouldn't appeal.
All right, good work, boys. In 3, 2, who's going to win the Super Bowl?
I'd have to go Seahawks. They have best defense and Russell Wilson, Sidney Rice. That is a great team right there.
I'm going to go with the Broncos on this one. I think that Peyton Manning's one of the best quarterbacks of all time, and they have a solid defense. I think even better than the Seahawks this year. So I think it's going to be close, but the Broncos are the top team.
I'm going to go with the surprise team in the Miami Dolphins. They have Ryan Tannehill, a second-year quarterback. They also went out and signed Mike Wallace, signed Donnell Ellery and Grimes from Atlanta, and they also got that second overall pick in Deion Jordan. So the pass rush and the pass defense has improved over this offseason for the Miami Dolphins.
Next topic, Jets craziness, Geno Smith, Mark Sanchez.
I'd have to go with Geno Smith. It's about time for Mark Sanchez to be done. After 2 AFC championship runs, there's a point where you have to just give up on someone. You can't keep going that.
Well, the Jets did announce recently that they were going to start Mark Sanchez in the preseason, and I'm interested to see if he's improved at all, and I also want to watch Geno Smith play a little bit. I'm not sold on Geno Smith yet. We haven't seen anything out of him so far in the pros, but I think Geno Smith right now is better than Sanchez.
The most NFL ready is Geno Smith, or not Geno Smith, Mark Sanchez right now. Geno Smith didn't really prove too much in college. He only had one okay year, but he threw a lot of interceptions in college, and he's got to work on his playing in the pocket, not so much out of the pocket.
Next topic, Patriots camp. Did they do the right thing by getting rid of Wes Welker?
I don't think so. Wes Welker's a great wide receiver, and without Aaron Hernandez and Gronkowski for first couple of weeks, I believe they will have trouble scoring and getting the ball down the field without Wes Welker.
I don't think the Patriots are going to be as good this year without some top receivers. They don't have Aaron Hernandez. They don't have Wes Welker now. And I think they made a poor choice getting rid of Welker, and now Welker's speaking out against them and against Belichick. But I think Welker could do better even than he was in New England with the Broncos with Peyton Manning. But I think the Patriots won't benefit off of losing Welker at all.
They did add Danny Amendola, but they don't have anybody else to throw to. Gronkowski's going to be out for a couple weeks probably, and they have the Dolphins in their division still, so it's going to be tough for them to even make the playoffs.
On to baseball, who's going to win the World Series?
I'll have to go with the Pittsburgh Pirates. I just love them. Andrew McCutchen, Pedro Alvarez, that is a great team right there. They have a great bullpen, great starting pitching. There's no way they can't.
I'm going to go with the LA Dodgers. I think they're the hottest team in baseball, and I think all signs point to them winning the World Series, and I really like how they've been playing as of late.
Definitely the Atlanta Braves. Their rotation is really, really good, and they still have Justin Upton. B.J. Upton has to start hitting, and Jason Hayward at the top of the order. They could really do well in the playoffs.
All right, please give me your 30-second take on PEDs in baseball.
I think PEDs are just the worst thing to have in the baseball. It's just ruined such great players like Ryan Braun. Ryan Braun could have been one of the best players of all time. He has such great potential, but then he started to get into the PEDs. I think that's just awful. I think if you use PEDs, you should be banned from baseball for life.
Well, I think it's great what the league is doing in terms of dealing with the PEDs, suspending players, making sure players know that this is not okay, and enforcing consequences on a player like A-Rod, who is so respectable. He's been in the league for years and years now, and he should have known better than to do what he did. And so by putting down the hammer on him, they're really showing players that PEDs are not okay.
I guess it's good that the players who did it are owning up to it and saying, yeah, I did it, and they're accepting their suspensions, except for A-Rod. He didn't accept his suspension. He's just going to appeal. Maybe he didn't do it. I mean, if he's going to fight this hard against what they said he did, then maybe he really didn't do it.
Last topic, will the Heat three-peat?
I don't think so. Dwayne Wade's getting a little older, so is Chris Bosh. And with Derrick Rose coming back, I feel like the Bulls could make a run at it, or even the Knicks can make a run at it.
I also agree with Ian. I think that the Heat are no longer the best team in basketball. I really like Golden State for this year. I like a few other teams, but I don't think the Heat are the best team in basketball, at least not by much anymore.
They will absolutely repeat. Saying that they're old is ridiculous because Dwayne Wade's only 31 years old. Chris Bosh is 28. LeBron James is 28. I mean, they're not old. They have good players. They have great players. They have LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade just wasn't playing well at the end of last year's postseason because he had a bone bruise in his knee, which is incredibly painful. And you'll see Dwayne Wade, the real Dwayne Wade, in next year's postseason and the regular season.
All right, good work, guys. Each of you just have it say your name.
I'm Ian Martin.
I'm Isaac Glasser.
I'm Jeremy Schnell.
Good deal. Good work. 3, 2.
Hi, welcome to In Your Face. I'm Blake, this is Noah, and this is Jake, and we're going to debate a little topics on sports.
First topic, who's going to win the Super Bowl?
I think the Broncos are a terrific team. They have Peyton Manning. They added Wes Welker, but I'm going to go with the Seahawks. They added Cliff Averill, who's an excellent lineman. He's going to make their defensive line one of the best in football. I think the Seahawks are going to win the Super Bowl.
I'm going to go off the limb here, pick a team, the Patriots, who have had lots of controversy this year. But traditionally, you look back, and a lot of their Super Bowl teams have had lots of controversy, scandals, and obviously the Spygate 2007 went on to have the only, or other than the Miami Dolphins, 16-0 regular season. So you traditionally see them doing well. I think Bill Belichick is an awesome coach, and he's done a great job there. And I think that Tom Brady's leadership, Bill Belichick's leadership, and other team leaders are going to spur a very good Super Bowl run this year.
Seattle Seahawks are winning the Super Bowl. Broncos do not have a chance. Peyton Manning is 9-11 in playoffs. We saw what he did last year against the Ravens. I've lost faith in them. The New England Patriots have been leveled on and off the field. Their defense is not strong enough, too many disciplinary issues. And the Seattle Seahawks at the end of the day are too strong at home. If they can win their division and get home field advantage through the playoffs, they've got a ticket to the Super Bowl and they will win. At least
Patriots camp. Good idea that Welker's gone?
Especially now that they've lost Aaron Hernandez and they've lost Gronkowski, it's looking bad. I mean, they did add Amendola, but Welker is a really good target. You know, Amendola is a great player, but Welker's just a better player all around. You need somebody who can be an offensive target, and they lost that in Welker.
Yeah, agreed with that. Wes Welker, unbelievable wide receiver. The Broncos got a great addition, and obviously Aaron Hernandez, losing him, and then Gronkowski to injury, who's arguably one of the best tight ends when he's healthy. They're going to miss him a lot, but they got some young guys who I think can step up this year.
Wes Welker was a great receiver, but if it's me, I want Danny Amendola. Danny Amendola is a much younger guy. Welker's old. The Patriots got to start rebuilding at some point. Amendola is a younger guy, and he's going to be a great target for Brady. Good call getting rid of Welker.
Jets camp, Smith or Sanchez?
I'm going to go with Geno Smith. You know, Geno Smith is younger, and he has much more time to develop. Mark Sanchez, he had his opportunity. You know, he led them to 2 straight AFC championship games. But in the past couple of years, he's really let Jets fans down, and I think it's time for them to move on and say, look, we're going to help develop Geno Smith. You know, he can take away some of those errors. He did throw a lot of interceptions. But with time, with practice, he'll get better at that, and he'll become a solid starting quarterback.
As much as I want to go with Mark Sanchez, I really thought the last year with Tim Tebow coming to the Jets camp, I thought it would spur him to perform. But honestly, he had another kind of arguably terrible season last year, and I think this time they drafted Geno Smith, and he's your guy, and you got to go with him.
I think Smith versus Sanchez has become a debate that's being really given too much attention. The Jets are still a train wreck, no matter who's under center. But if you want someone to lead the train wreck, I guess we go with Geno Smith. He's got to start somewhere. Why not now? Mark Sanchez has his chance.
Baseball, who's going to win the series?
I'm going to go with the Pittsburgh Pirates. You know, I like the Braves. They're a good team. They have a lot of good players. Justin Upton, they have good pitching. But the Pirates with Andrew McCutchen, they've just been playing terrific. You know, it's been a long time since they've been a really good team. The past couple of years, it's looked like they'd make it to the playoffs, and they don't. I think this year is their year. I think they're going to come out, they're going to perform in the playoffs, and I think they'll win the World Series.
As much as I don't want to be biased, you see my shirt right here. Red Sox got their 70th win last night, and I think with Clay Buchholz, when he comes back, he was 9-0. Arguably, they're going to have a very good pitching staff. They're going to have Jake Peavy. They're going to have John Lackey, who's had a great rebound year, and obviously John Lester. And then the hitting has just been on fire the whole year. Could be hot the postseason. They are going to have a nice run this year.
Boston Red Sox are not winning the World Series. The pitcher is never a reason for a team to win the World Series because the starting pitcher is only going to be in it once every 5 games. I don't care how good you are once every 5 games, you're not going to win the World Series because of it. A few months ago, I would have said that it was the Oakland A's, but the way the Pittsburgh Pirates have been playing, the way Jason Greeley's been proving himself, McCutchen, that whole team's been hot. They've got the fire after all the disappointment from years past. I think the Pittsburgh Pirates are primed for a win.
Oh, and with that, we're going to close here today. From Blake, from Jason, and from Noah. See you next time.
Hello and welcome to In Your Face. I'm your host, Robert Dieters. Alongside me is Rich and Nick, and we'll be debating some sports topics here today.
First topic, who's going to win the Super Bowl?
Super Bowl, I'm going to pick the Broncos simply because of Peyton Manning. You know, he's not that good in the playoffs. He's 9-11 all time, but Peyton Manning is Peyton Manning. He can get it done. As long as there's no cold weather, I'm going to take the Broncos because of their defense and what they've added. So I got the Broncos.
I got the 49ers here, you know, my favorite team. I'm not going to be biased here, but Colin Kaepernick, man, I think we'll have a upcoming season as well as Frank Gore. You got LaMichael James. You got some young rookies in there. as well as the Niners. They can stop that running game, no doubt. You got Patrick Willis, Bowman, Alham Brooks, Aldon Smith. And that secondary this year is going to be a lot more different, but this team can really come out and play.
I'm going to go with the team no one's been talking about, the Atlanta Falcons out of the NFC South. They are real strong. You got Matty Ice at quarterback, who does not make a whole lot of mistakes. They added Steven Jackson at running back, along with Jaquiz Rogers, both guys out of Oregon State University. They have deep threats, tall guys, Roddy White and Julio Jones. They're a very good team in a conference that's not that, a division that's not that strong. They got the Saints, Buccaneers, and the Panthers.
Next topic, Smith or Sanchez?
I'm going to go with Smith. I'm a Jets fan. I am sick of Sanchez. I've seen it for 4 seasons straight. The first 2, when he took him to the AFC Championship, he wasn't even that good. It was the defense carrying him most of the time. He struggled in the playoffs. But Smith, he is a beacon of hope for me. I'm really excited to see what Geno Smith does. Even if it doesn't pan out, it's going to be better than Sanchez. He has more turnovers than touchdowns. I'm sick of it. Put Smith in.
I'm going with Geno Smith on this one, a man that has young talent. I've seen a lot of young talent come out and actually do their thing. You see RG3, Russell Westbrook. Colin Kaepernick came out after his sophomore year and decided to do something after the Alex Smith injury. I think young talent has really improved in the NFL, and I think Geno Smith can get the job done.
What's the worst thing Geno Smith can do? Lose a game? Mark Sanchez has done that his entire career. I don't think he's going to have a butt fumble. He can hold on to a football. I don't think it's possible to get worse than Mark Sanchez is right now. So why not give Geno Smith a chance?
Next topic, did the Patriots do the right or wrong thing by letting Welker go?
I think they did the wrong thing because Wes Welker and Tom Brady have had that chemistry. They've been one of the best duos in the NFL. And that short game, it just works very well. And I think that Peyton Manning is going to – you see Peyton Manning throwing short all the time, so Wes Welker is going to be a premier target for him. I think the Patriots really lost a big part.
Wes Welker was a man that I like to watch as a wide receiver. You have Danny Amendola, a guy that can replace him, but you don't have Aaron Hernandez. Rob Gronkowski is going to be out in the beginning of the weeks, and Tom Brady needs a guy to throw to, but I think Danny Amendola can get the job done. He's going to be the main guy for the first couple of the weeks.
I think it's going to be a big hit to Tom Brady. He's always been a little security blanket, having Welker run around mid-range passes. He can get 10, 15 yards consistently. I think Danny Amendola can fill that spot a little bit, but without having that chemistry that they've had the past several seasons, both being seasoned vets, I think it's definitely going to hurt their numbers and possibly their wins.
Next topic, baseball. Who's going to win the Fall Classic?
I'm taking the Pirates simply because of their pitching. A.J. Burnett, he's 5-7, but I've seen him pitch some pretty good games, and I have faith in him. Francisco Liriano is pitching very well, and then they got Jeff Locke, the left-hander, who's very good too. And Andrew McCutchen, I think, is one of the best players in baseball, and I think they're going to win it with their pitching.
Let's go Oakland Athletics, a team that no one likes to really talk about, a team that has young talent. You have Cespedes, Josh Donaldson. You got a lot of guys there. You also got pitching Bertolo Colon, Grant Balfour, some guys that have been amazing this year. Bertolo Colon has had a really good season for the A's, a guy that's really helped this team pitch. I think the A's can get it done. These guys got young talent. I think this team can make it all the way.
I'm going to stick with Atlanta teams, the Braves. They are strong. They got Mike Minor, Brandon Beachy, Julio Teheran, Chris Medlin pitching. They are phenomenal. Young guys, too. And then you got Craig Kimbrell coming out of the bullpen. He's lights out. You have the Upton brothers, BJ's coming on a little bit stronger since the All-Star break, which is good. Jason Hayward hitting leadoff is switching things up. I think they can have a great October run.
And we're going to end the show in your face with Rich, Nick, and me. Thank you for listening, and we'll be here next time.
3.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to In Your Face. I'm Chris Lowe, along with Jordan and Cameron, and here we go.
First topic, who's going to win the Super Bowl?
San Francisco 49ers, but if the Patriots make it, I think they really got a chance. San Francisco should just be called the NFC Pro Bowl team because they have a Pro Bowler at every single position. This team is stacked. They got an amazing head coach, and Kaepernick is really explosive.
Falcons all the way. They got Matt Ryan, a top quarterback.
No.
Okay, you've watched them win. They got Gonzalez. They have everyone on their team that is a pro. They're on fire. They will be on fire. That's my guess.
Last year, the Falcons choked. I think they'll choke again if they make it that far again. My pick is going to be the Seattle Seahawks. I think they've progressed, and they could progress a little more. I think they could be better than the Niners by playoffs.
No, they're too inexperienced.
Next topic, Jets camp, Smith or Sanchez?
Smith, I've seen Sanchez play so many times in those Patriot-Jet rivalries. The only good game he had was a 3-touchdown game in the in the playoffs, and that game was okay. He had some wide-open throws. Look, I just don't trust Sanchez. He's a turnover machine. You know what? Geno Smith, I think, could really give them a chance to be competitive in the AFC East.
Yes.
Geno Smith is the quarterback for the Jets. Mark Sanchez has turnover after turnover after turnover. He has not been doing well at all. And Geno Smith, at least give him a chance. He could not be any worse than Mark Sanchez was.
He's got Tebow in him. I'm just kidding.
Geno Smith is an easy choice here. Sanchez has gotten chances. He's blown some of them. So, yeah, Geno Smith I think is an easy choice. I don't know if he'll make the team better, but I'd go with him any day of the week. Rex Ryan is preferring Mark Sanchez, but I don't think that his decision will matter in this one.
Next topic, pick your coach. John Harbaugh, Jim Harbaugh.
I'm going to go with Jim Harbaugh. I know John won, but I feel like Jim provides the most inspiration to his team, and I just think that from an X's and O's perspective, I think he provides the best game plan every single week.
Jim, for sure. He has gotten his team farther with Kaepernick. They're just doing very, very well. John did well, but I don't think since Ray Lewis is gone, they're not gonna feel very hard.
Yeah, I'm going to Jim too, because Jim's got that fire in him that I don't think John has. That fire, that grit, that inspiration towards the players. I don't think John necessarily has, and he's also a good X's and O's coach. So I'd go with Jim just because players like coaches who can inspire them, have faith in them.
But I think that Jim, though, can be a little bit he can get out of control sometimes.
He can.
I mean, especially in the Super Bowl, overreacting to some calls. But I still like Jim.
Yeah.
Next topic, who's going to win the World Series?
I'm going to go with the Pirates. I think they have really smart brand of baseball players and high IQ guys. I think Andrew McCutchen is the big difference for them, and I don't think he's really spotlighted enough in the MLB.
This is a bit of a stretch, but the Dodgers, if they continue their way, they can win. But if they don't, they most likely will not. The Pittsburgh Pirates will win the World Series. They have Andrew McCutchen.
I'm gonna piggyback off of both of these, and I'm gonna say the Pirates. They've been hot. If they're hot, just stay with them. I think it's their time to shine now. That's all I gotta say.
And thank you for watching. This has been In Your Face with Chris, Jordan, and Cameron.
In 3, 2.
Hello and welcome to In Your Face. I'm Trevor with my partners Anthony and James, and today we're going to be talking about some of the most controversial sports topics.
First up, who's going to win the Super Bowl?
You know, that's a tough one here early on in the season. Not too many people are sure with a lot of off-season changes. But if you have to pick a favorite early on, I'm going to go with the Denver Broncos. They've reloaded. They still have Peyton Manning. They have a strong core of guys. They made a lot of off-season moves. And their division isn't that strong, but they're out of division schedule this year. It's impressive. They're going to have a lot of tough schedule games, and it's going to bode well for them as they look to go deep into the playoffs this year.
You know, I've got to say the San Francisco 49ers. They ended up losing last year's Super Bowl on a controversial call. You know, Colin Kaepernick was absolutely spectacular in the regular season and the postseason, and I see no reason why he wouldn't be better this year. So I think that if Kaepernick can stay healthy, if their running game can stay healthy, then they will, without a doubt, win the World Series, Super Bowl rather, by possibly a landslide.
And I agree with that. I mean, the 49ers have been absolutely hot. Last year, they did lose in the Super Bowl, but it was very close. They did score 17 points unanswered later in that game. But I think they do have a very strong offense behind their new quarterback, Colin Kaepernick, like you said. The big challenge for me when it comes to the 49ers winning this year's Super Bowl has got to be Crabtree. Crabtree's out, of course, with his injury. He had surgery on his torn Achilles. So I think that might be the major factor. If the 49ers can play just like they did last season and be fine without Crabtree, then I think they do have a big shot at winning the Super Bowl. But I think the only team in their way of winning the Super Bowl this year would be the Broncos, just like you said, because they do have a very, very strong offense behind veteran quarterback Peyton Manning.
Next topic. Which Harbaugh brother do you like better?
They're both good coaches. Obviously, they've both been to the Super Bowl, but I'm going to go with Jim with the 49ers. He's risen this team from essentially nothing. When John's taken it over, he's had a couple years to get it to the caliber it was where they were at the Super Bowl this past season, where Jim, he was thrusted into this position. They started off really well, and then they took that next step to get to the Super Bowl. And, maybe the X's and O's, I'm not that familiar with the X's and O's of football, but from a guy's standpoint and from just a fan, Jim is the better coach.
I got to say, John, I'm a big, big fan of the calm and collected football coach. Not the kind of guy who's going to go get all worked up about every little call. Just take it, think about it, and just work with it. And he is not the kind of person who's going to go yell at the referees, yell at his players. He's the kind of person who's just going to take it like a man and just go with it.
I totally disagree on that. This is football we're talking about, all right? Football is one of the, nastiest sports out there. I mean, you've got guys that are literally hitting themselves as hard as they can, other players, every single play of the game. And for a coach's perspective, I got to say Jim. Jim is so into it. He knows how big football is. He's getting paid to do this. He's taken a team that didn't go to the playoffs for many years. They had so many different coaches. Jim turned the season around, or should I say the whole franchise around, within the course of one season. That's how good of a coach he is. And for that reason, I would say that Jim definitely is the better coach out of the two brothers. Not to take anything away from John Harbaugh, though. He did win the Super Bowl with the Baltimore Ravens.
Next topic. Will the Heat three-peat?
No, Heat will not. They kind of got lucky a little bit this year. The Indiana Pacers, they had a couple breaks going their way. But if you look at the series between them and the San Antonio Spurs, Greg Popovich was a genius in laying out the X's and O's on how to defeat the Miami Heat in their horns and in their spread 5 offense. It's not that great. I mean, if you have LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade, obviously you have a chance to win a majority of games, including maybe getting that far. But when you go up against a lot of other teams that are trying to compensate for that, they've gotten a lot smarter, games have gotten a lot closer, and the Heat are going to have a tougher time.
I totally agree with that. I say there's really no way that the Heat are going to do it again. There's a lot of younger teams like the New Orleans Pelicans that are rising up. They're much better than they were last year. And the Heat, I think people might have just figured them out by this point. They really have LeBron James. He's a great player, but I think really the Spurs had that series won. They just made a couple mental mistakes at the end of the game, and I don't think that the Heat have what it takes to win it 3 times, but not taking anything from them.
I would have to disagree with that, really. I mean, I'm not a big Miami Heat fan, but I got to give them the benefit of the doubt. They have won 2 championships in a row. Granted, they have been going against tough teams like the Spurs. They nearly lost it this year going against the Spurs in Game 6. Heat flubbed it on that, or Heat came back and got it on that one when the Spurs flubbed. But anyway, even though there's been a lot of offseason moves where there's a lot of Eastern Conference and Western Conference teams that have gone better, I still got to go with the Heat because, like you said, you can figure out the Heat, but in my opinion, you can figure them out, but if you don't actually stop them, then what are you going to do? So until teams figure out how to stop them, then figuring out how they play the game is not going to help you. So I say Heat go and win a 3rd championship in a row.
All right, and thanks for watching In Your Face. Me, Trevor, with my partners Anthony and James. Tune in next time for more topics.